Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So today, we're going to talk about Curious George. People ask me about it all the time, why I have this image on my hat. I think it's because I use so much symbolism in my videos in a whole bunch of different ways that they assume there's a deeper meaning to it. There wasn't, to be honest. What seems like a lifetime ago, I was part of a group of guys that were normally somewhere trying to figure something out. Nobody knew where they were. People were looking for them, and they probably had no business being there. Curious George seemed like a really fitting mascot. That was only a few years, and Curious George kind of left my life for a while. Then my middle son, before he was even old enough to say curious, well, he just loved monkey. So all that stuff came back out. It was at that point that I read the stories for the first time since I was a kid. And I couldn't help but notice certain themes that are, well, let's just say what we would call today problematic. The idea of a white man dressed the way that he is, taking a monkey from Africa, putting him on a boat, shackling him, bringing him to the United States, putting him in a cage, and eventually bringing him home was a theme I couldn't miss. At the same time, I love when something good comes from something bad, and today, Curious George is a science teacher. He teaches kids about STEM. He teaches them to build something from nothing. Love it. So I was willing to overlook the problematic themes that I saw in those stories. And to be honest, I don't know if that was an intentional thing, and after what I have recently found out, it probably wasn't. Because one of y'all sent me an email detailing the story of Curious George. And I love him even more today. So Curious George was a real monkey named Fifi in South America, not Africa. His human parents were Margaret and Hans. Well, they go to France on their honeymoon. And they're there in May of 1940. If you're not a history buff, the Nazis just showed up. It's about to get real bad. Margaret and Hans are Jews. They can't get out. The trains are gone. They don't have bicycles to buy. So they build them. Something from nothing. They use spare parts and cobble together bicycles. And they become refugees. They head out. In the basket of one of those bicycles, all of these beautiful pastel images that they had made of a monkey. Eventually, they get out. They get to Lisbon, and they get out. They hop on a boat. They go back to Rio, I think. And then they make it to the United States, where that refugee adopts an assumed name, George. That's where Fifi became George. George goes on to better the country for the next 70 years, more than. Teaches kids to build something from nothing. Something that refugees are really, really good at. It's a great story. It's a great story. It is very fitting for what I talk about a lot of times. But I didn't know that, to be honest. I can't thank you enough for sending me that email. That's amazing. But I would imagine that a lot of the refugees from south of the border that are trying to get here now, they're going to be just like George. They're going to better the country if you let them. They're going to reinstill that spirit of being able to accomplish the impossible, that curiosity about the world around them. All of those things that we pretend are still American traits. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.